Hi viewers, as with most of my videos, the information I'm providing is based on my own knowledge and experience. I'm not paid to provide information to sell you precious metals or membership to any kind of organisation. How and if you choose to use the following information to work to your advantage is of course entirely up to you. I'd like to start with VAT on silver, currently at 20% here in the UK. There have of course been arguments in the past with the dealers regarding charging VAT on silver on the grounds of many silver bullion pieces having a face value, like this Britannia with the £2 face value. And it sort of related to how could VAT possibly be charged on legal tender. But at the end of the day, the government won, and we've got to pay the VAT on silver bought here in the UK. In Germany, however, the dealers managed to secure a lower tax rate for silver that had a face value, but the full rate applied to generic silver, like bars and rounds, etc. Currently, there is no VAT charged on gold, but the question you should ask yourself is, will they also reintroduce it back onto gold at some point in the future? If so, you have the potential to make an instant profit of 20% or whatever the VAT rate might be at the time. So, moving on to where and what to buy. As this is a public video, I'm fully aware that the banking, government and taxation organisations have the ability to watch this video, so I'm not about to tell you how to evade tax. I can, however, tell you how to avoid tax. For those that didn't know, one is an offence and the other is not. Due to the vast number of variables of people's personal buying situations, what and where you buy can be very diverse. The two main British dealers are probably Chards and Atkinsons. But as interest in precious metals has grown in the past years, so have the number of smaller dealers, all wanting a piece of the action. Obviously, all UK dealers over the VAT threshold will have to charge VAT. You can of course buy from Germany and many other European countries at a lower tax rate, but for it to be a realistic advantage, you would need to be buying in larger quantities. There is of course the option of buying used silver. This is basically silver that has already had the VAT paid on it by a previous buyer, or silver purchased before the introduction of VAT. This type of silver is where I've always personally found to be the cheapest. And typically bought at not only coin shops but also shops that sell antiques and collectibles, as well as charity shops and car boot sales, and of course online. These are the types of things I'm referring to. Generic bullion, new and old, and the French Hercules there, but also proof coins. I've invariably picked up older proofs, close a pound or two over spot, so you don't necessarily have to be chasing after the latest release to get a close to spot deal, like the Athenian owls. Very nice they are, but there is always other options as well. For example, the Canadian Voyager dollars. many of which I've picked up for, you know, £1 or £2 over spot. That's a date run there. Also pieces like these can be found. And this could be an interesting one in a few years' time, couldn't it? First day of membership of the EEC, 1973. If you're wanting to buy silver as close to spot as possible, you can always look into buying scrap from local dealers or even online. You can also find older commemoratives like the ones I just showed. There's literally thousands of them were struck. Various proofs. And obviously circulated coinage, like these 64 Kennedys. You know, a lot of these are all available pretty much close to spot, depending on where you're looking, of course. So you don't have to be just concentrating on the latest releases from the mints. Very nice to have, but say if you're just looking to add ounces, there's plenty options out there for you. And of course you can get lucky when picking up some older pieces for £1 or £2 over spot, that they actually have a collector value. It's probably a good idea for me to cover buying within your means. Several years ago I was spending around £20 to £30 every week on National Lottery, Euro Lottery and scratch cards. And although I had the odd win here and there, I made the decision to use that money for buying silver instead. So I've not missed that money and actually have something to show for it. Yes, I could have had a big win, but with no guarantee. But I do have the guarantee that my silver is always worth spot price, at the very least. I've also made changes to my lifestyle, like buying consumables in bulk or buying multiples when they're on offer. This has also freed up more money to spend on precious metals without affecting my quality of life. Anyway, hopefully the video has been thought-provoking for you, and thank you all for watching.